In this demo, we'll show how product and security teams can understand the security posture of their applications. Let's start with Seeker, where the primary user is a product owner. From the login page, we can see a project compliance summary, followed by an overall project score and vulnerability trend. While each of these metrics has value for a single product owner, some product owners have multiple products that they manage. Let's drill into a single grouping, the 3 applications in our SSDC. On this detailed dashboard, we can see the aggregated data for our grouping. The score for this group of applications is an F. There are 2 projects that aren't in compliance with at least one policy. There are approximately 70 vulnerabilities, of which almost 60 are verified. And lastly, our endpoint coverage is roughly 15%. We can also see the mix of frameworks used by this group. If we scroll down, we see the same trend and project data, but we also get a summary of the endpoint risk. Let's dig into a project and review the AppSec metrics for the insecure bank. We see a similar grouping of metrics from before, but these correspond to all versions of this application. Scrolling down, we see a compliance summary covering everything from various OWASP Top 10 benchmarks to PCI DSS and even KPEC. Let's drill into the OWASP Top 10 for 2021 report for the insecure bank. We're presented with a bar graph of the various areas of non-compliance, ordered by OWASP entry, with the criticality of issues represented by the color of the bar and the number of issues represented by the length of the bar. It looks like we have a critical injection issue. Let's look at all issues related to injection. We see a list of vulnerabilities, some of which are verified by Seeker. Let's focus on those and filter by Seeker verified. This reduces the list to a handful of issues. If we sort by severity, we see that a critical issue bubbles to the top. This is the same vulnerability we saw earlier, but in a newer version of the app. Let's go back to the compliance report and go to the endpoint risk. Our code coverage is roughly 20% of the 88 endpoints exposed by the app. There are just over 10 vulnerable endpoints. However, we just observed that there was a newer version of the application, so let's filter for that newer version. Looking at the latest version, we see the number of endpoints has gone down to 20, but we still have the same number of vulnerable endpoints. In this case, it's clear the development team addressed the code coverage issue by removing access to the excess endpoints as their first attempt to improve the application. To learn more about how to find, view, and verify exploitable vulnerabilities in your running applications, visit synopsys.com/IAST.